We have big changes at the stores that we're seeing all over the shelves. We got a lot of issues with tomato products. We got a lot of issues with margarine, and we got a lot of issues with dairy products. We got issues happening here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm hearing from a lot of you guys all over the country that you're seeing issues at your stores as well. We're going to go to Dollar Tree. We're going to go to Aldi. We're going to go to Walmart. I know you guys have a lot of those all over the country, very standardized. We're going to jump into pictures here of what I'm seeing here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You let me know if you're seeing the same things where you are or if you're seeing different things. Use the word update and let's jump into the pictures. All right, let's start here at Dollar Tree. We have some serious issues here. Last week we were showing you this shelf with the picture frames. The picture frames have not been restocked. And if you go around the store, you're basically kind of seeing very similar things where they're just not restocking shelves. And whether they have the product or not, especially stuff coming over from China, the cheap plastic stuff seems to be the most missing out there when we look at things that are off the shelf. The food products seem to be fairly well stocked, but when you look at cleaning supplies, bleach products, that type of thing, we're having that Lysol problem out there, and we're seeing that kind of showing up here at the Dollar Trees as well. Toilet paper, paper towels, they just can't keep them on the shelf. Whether that's just a stocking issue or not, I don't know. Let me know what you guys are seeing there with your Dollar Trees. Okay, moving over to Walmart, seeing some issues still in the produce section. We haven't been seeing issues in the produce section for quite a while, but now we're starting to see them again. Some different areas have gaps in the shelf, all that kind of stuff happening on and on. We have issues happening in the potato section again. Frozen potatoes, not fully stocked there. Some of the products are missing in action. That's a problem. Walmart is usually really good at keeping stocked up on their great value products, but not with regards to the frozen potatoes. We had that really bad potato harvest out there in Idaho and elsewhere, so we are kind of seeing some of the fallout from that. Over in the frozen pizzas, I would say that it's actually better stocked than it has been over the past couple months, but a little bit worse than last week. So frozen pizzas in general, I'm not sure why they're having issues with frozen pizzas, but they are. We also have ice cream things happening there. Just some of the stocks of ice cream, which we'd kind of expect to see because we're seeing dairy problems out there. Coffee. Cheap end coffee is often Robusta beans, which comes from like Vietnam and such. And Vietnam is being hammered with very, very bad harvests of coffee beans the last couple years. And so that is affecting things. Indonesia is also being impacted as well. The Arabica beans seem to be doing better out there, but the cheap coffee getting hit on the production front is impacting prices out there. All right, I just saw some issues with the jam there, so there were some empty sections there. Coffee creamer, some of the coffee creamer was having some issues there too. Even the powdered stuff seemed to be the small flavored kinds seem to be having some issues. And when we get into the dairy liquid refrigerated section, you're going to see a lot of issues there, and that can kind of explain that people are picking up powdered stuff because they can't find their favorite flavor in the refrigerator section. We are starting to see some issues with applesauce, and we've talked about that briefly here and there, but as you can see, not fully stocked on the applesauce, and over at Aldi it was not fully stocked there either. Just having some minor issues with applesauce. If you really like your applesauce, you might want to grab it when you see it. Chocolate. We have the chocolate shortage happening out there, or more specifically, the cocoa shortage. Now, Hershey syrup does have cocoa in it, and that's a problem. And then you look down at the Hershey's strawberry syrup, and there doesn't seem to be a problem with the strawberry syrup. That should just let you know that there's something going on there. We do want to thank our sponsor before we move on. Genesis Gold Group, they do a fantastic job helping people get out of stocks and bonds and get over into gold, silver, and platinum coins. Physical metals for your IRA or your 401k. If you want to find out more information about that, you can either call a number on your screen or you can contact them directly. There will be a link at the end of the video. Do mention this channel because they do waive the setup fee that way. It does save you some money. Ketchups. Ketchups and other condiments. They're having issues with that. Everything from soy sauce, barbecue sauces, but ketchup was particularly bad today, and did notice that. And this is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We should not be running out of ketchup because that's an important cultural staple here because Heinz is based in Pittsburgh. So anyway, we have some rice. We have a lot of pinto beans. Back during the cough and stuff like that, we kind of had a little bit of a shortage of pinto beans, but lots of white rice. And it seems like it's inverted nowadays. They want you to buy the small bags because it's a lot more per pound. 20 pounds for $11 or 1 pound for 92 cents. Yeah, you do the math on that one and you'll know that, it's cheaper to buy in bulk there. Vinegar. We've been seeing issues with the vinegar because we have the industrial vinegar issues out there. And so they've been, the industrial uses can use food grade vinegar, but food grade vinegar can't use the industrial vinegar. And so we're seeing issues with the industrial side is short because the industrial vinegar is made from petroleum products. And so what they're doing is they're getting the grain vinegar pulled over to be used for industrial purposes, and they've been shorting the food side of things. I know everyone's like, well, just people are canning more. And not exactly. The issue is that they're moving some of the food grade vinegar over to the industrial side. Mayo, there was a whole shelf there of mayo that was missing. And notice it was the off-brand too, right? That was Great Value brand shelf, not the Hellmann's or name brand stuff. Mashed potatoes looking a little bit thinner today. 3 shelves of stovetop stuffing. 3 shelves of stuffing mix. What is it, Thanksgiving? Because we didn't see that much stuffing around Thanksgiving. We had like 1.5 shelves back in Thanksgiving. They're just spreading out stuff that they have a lot of, and they're just condensing other things that they don't have very much of. So you gotta keep an eye on them. All right, when it comes to canned meats, we have some gaps there in the canned meat section for sure. One of the best ways to get stocked up still is Keystone beef. If you want to get steak or beef, getting Keystone beef or Keystone ground beef are actually quite effective ways of doing that. But Spam, if you like it, is also another good option. Canned chicken is kind of expensive now. I haven't looked at it too much. I haven't done the math on all those things. Let me know if you guys are still finding it attractive to pick up canned chicken now, or if it's as pricey as I think it is. Because I stocked up on canned chicken a while back, and I won't need any canned chicken for this decade at least. Some folks out there are like, really into homesteading and really into, you need to become more self-sufficient because you can't stock enough food. Well, let's just say you can stock enough food. It just takes a lot of space and it takes a lot of money on the front end, but you can do it. It's a lot easier to stockpile it now than it will be to grow it in the future. So that's why I'm much more of an advocate for stockpiling. It's not going to be a best fit for everybody. So if you're out in the rural countryside and you have a farm, or you have the ability to grow food and you have some knowledge of how to do that, or you want to gain it, that's the best way for you. Tuna section. Like I said, we've been seeing that the Great Value section of the tuna has been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, but there seems to be quite a good availability of tuna if that is your thing. Pasta is having issues out there again. We're having like the rotini, tricolor rotini. Certain varieties are just gone, but what you also see is, like I said, So all of the macaroni has switched over to the plastic bags. And as you can see over here, the ziti is starting to switch over to plastic bags. When we get over to Aldi, we'll see that all of their pasta has switched over. You're going to be seeing that all these paper cardboard boxes are going to be switching over to plastic bags. If you want the boxes, you better grab them now because they're going to start disappearing. Spaghetti sauce is thin over here, and when we get over to Aldi, you're going to want to remember this shelf because over at Aldi it was really bad. Also notice how, once again, you're looking at the generic, the great value sauces have disappeared. The Prego is still on the shelf. Name brand stuff still on the shelf, but not the generic versions. Just very little generics. Canned. This whole shelf just kind of made me go, huh? Just lots of different random little cans. They didn't have, I mean, normally they have whole sections for each kind of thing, but here it's just like random cans, just like 1 or 2 wide. It's just like they didn't know what to do with all these excess cans, so they just put them all down there. Down at the bottom there of pasta, you can see some egg noodles back there, but a lot of the pasta gone. We haven't talked about spices for a while, and spices generally have come back quite strong, and so we haven't really seen issues with spices recently, but I do want to just kind of point out that not all the slots are filled. We do have a couple spices that are still having a bit of trouble getting in stock, particularly herbs and stuff like that from overseas that are a little more unusual. They're not able to get back on the shelf very easily. Olive oil issues continuing. Looked a little better this week, but part of that was because they moved around their olive oil bottles. The whole olive oil section was rearranged. When we look at the seed oils here, soybean oil, which is vegetable oil, right, and canola oil, we have a lot of fronting going on here. Notice there's no bottles back there. That's all like 1 deep, okay? Instead of stocking more, they just pulled everything to the front, which we call fronting. I know there's different terms for it in different parts of the country and everything like that, and different stores, but generally speaking, just it's not a good thing because it shows that instead of restocking, it shows that that they're working on the shelf, but not actually putting more product on the shelf. So in the cereal section, one of the things that really kind of surprised me is how many of the cereals are missing. Because we shouldn't be seeing any issues with cereal, right? I mean, we have access to the grains, and the factories are cranking these things out. But why are the factories having trouble making these high-margin cereals? They make a killing off this cereal. They make so much money off these cereal, it's insane. It's why they have a whole aisle dedicated to it. It's because they make so much money. There's so many brands are like, give me your money. We'll make you some, you know, a 50-cent bag of 50-cent box of corn flakes and sell them to you for $5. We absolutely would love to do that. Everyone would love to do that. It doesn't cost them nearly anything to make those things. Now, when it comes to bottled water, gallon jugs of water, just they're not keeping those things on the shelf very well. Eggs at $2.78 here, very similar over at Aldi. But look at that sour cream section, just lots of empty shelf space. They're just not able to keep the dairy section stocked. Butter looking fairly good, except for a few varieties up at the top there. A few varieties are missing, but then you look over at the margarine section, and the margarine section is looking pretty sad right there. They just don't have very much to put on the shelf. They don't even have the cheap Imperial sticks to put on there. And they had like 2 Imperial tubs. Just they shrunk that section dramatically, and they still don't have very much to show for it. Still having issues with the jugs, gallon jugs, and I think that's probably what's going on with the juice, but I did notice that the apple juice was pretty low, and considering the issues we're having with applesauce, I thought that might be notable. Also, just like walking around the soda section, all of the generic sodas just like super, super sparse. like they are not keeping that stuff on the shelf very well at all. And they don't even have all that much selection either. They took my diet cream sodas off the shelf and they don't sell them anymore. Some of the others that I liked, they don't have that anymore either. And just they just have a few brands and a few products that just don't do so well. We also have the creamer section here. As I said, that there were issues in the dairy section, creamer section, and the half and half. That's not normal, folks. That's not normal, and yet that's what we're seeing. Pancake mix, and then also we're seeing with the syrups some issues there. Also notable here too is that they were out of iodized salt. They had plain salt, they're generic, but they did not have any iodized generic salt. It's literally a rock, right? I mean, they mine it out of the ground and dump it into these cardboard cartons. It's not like the most sophisticated process in the world to generate this. They can just have a giant bunker full of dry salt, and they can just sit there and just fill those little cardboard containers. I mean, they don't sell that many of them. Like, why are they having issues keeping them stocked? Applesauce here and applesauce there. See the issues there with the applesauce, not fully stocked. And that's just like one of those staples. Again, it's just like very basic staple, and of all the brands, they're having issues. Okay, let's move over to Aldi real fast here to show you kind of what we're seeing over here. Sad lettuce section, of course, and not even fully stocked. This is all the 2% milk they had. Both these stores was around 4 p.m. in the afternoon on a weekday, so that's what it is. With some of the cottage cheeses and just gaps in the dairy section, butter, cream cheese, just issues there and there. And hot dogs, still having issues with hot dogs. The canned meat section looked pretty good, except for the fact that they've dropped. I still want them to get back with those the canned hams, but they haven't had those in a year or more, probably. I really love those things. But the rest of the canned stuff, you know, what they have is they're pretty well stocked with that. As you can see, basically they've moved all of the noodles and all of the pastas over to the plastic bags of them. So that is what it is. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I imagine that they probably will keep a little bit longer this way. They're more prone to getting crushed in shipping, but the way Aldi ships everything, like in these cardboard boxes, I think that they should be relatively okay. But the fact is that they'll probably have a longer shelf life in the plastic bags. So you can take that plastic bag and then you can just shrink wrap, you know, or vacuum seal around that, even if you want to, or you can, you know, try to make it better. But when I looked at the pasta sauce section, this is what greeted me here. That's pretty low, and even that Priano cheese sauce over there on the bottom left, I think, is taking up some of the space for the pasta sauce. So I don't know if Aldi is just like, it's not worth it to us to make pasta sauce, or if they're just having trouble getting it, or what's going on with that. But notice that applesauce not fully stocked there. But not terribly so. But they usually have other varieties too. But they're just down to those two varieties. Chocolate syrup was pretty sparse there. And yes, it does have cocoa in it. I did actually pick up one of the bottles and check to see if it actually had cocoa in it. And it does. But then the big thing was the hot cocoa just gone for the second week in a row there. And then hams. Wow, $1.79 per pound. So I don't know if that'll bear out where you are, but if you want to stock up on ham, $1.79 a pound is good, at least in my neck of the woods. So that is a heads up on a possible sale out there. All right, friends, please do send me in your updates of what you guys are seeing. Use the word update on a comment. Any comment on this channel, that gets you to the right place. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from the channel, There's one right up on screen. If you want to get some more information from Jonathan and his team at Genesis Gold Group, there's a link on the screen there too as well. Thanks. I will see you guys again tomorrow. God bless you all.